Avengers Age of Ultron is the second Avengers film and the 11th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. When Tony Stark builds an AI designed to protect the world, things go very wrong, and it's up to the Avengers to defeat Ultron and save the world. Being a big fan of Marvel, I am happy to say that Avengers Age of Ultron lives up to the hype. The movie needed to overcome the challenge of separating itself from the other films, and Avengers Age of Ultron did just that. Here are my thoughts on the movie. This movie starts with all the Avengers together in a very cool action scene. It was nice to have all the characters right from the beginning and not have to go through some potentially boring setup. This is an Avengers movie, so it feels good to have the Avengers together right from the beginning. The witty dialogue from the first Avengers movie was not forgotten in this one. Every character works well in the conversations, and they all play off each other nicely. I had just as much fun listening to their conversations as I did watching them fight robots. There was also a lot more character development in this movie. A complaint I had from the first Avengers movie is that Hawkeye has no real purpose besides being a minion of Loki's for the first half of the movie, and has hardly any development. This time around, Hawkeye gets the most character development, and it was cool to finally care about this character as much as the others. There are some new additions to the cast of the MCU, and they were all amazing additions. Quicksilver is the one character I was really worried would be a letdown, because I thought the Quicksilver from X-Men Days of Future Past set the bar really high. I still think the version of Quicksilver from X-Men was a better version, but Quicksilver from the Avengers was still very cool and had some great moments. Out of the new additions, Scarlet Witch was my favorite. Her powers were really fun to watch, and her story arc in this movie is very engaging. From the trailers, you know that Vision is in this movie, but to avoid spoilers, all I'm going to say is that he is very interesting. Now, my biggest complaint about the Marvel Cinematic Universe is the lack of memorable villains. Besides Loki, the Marvel movies don't have any cool villains. Thankfully, Ultron is an exception. James Spader's voice for Ultron works incredibly well. I thought Ultron would be just a serious, dark character with a cool voice, but he also brings this charm in his actions that makes him a memorable villain. I really hope this becomes a trend of solid villains in Marvel films. Now, you can't have an Avengers film without the action, and this movie delivers. There is a lot more action this time around, and every scene is just as good as the next. What makes these action scenes so good is when teamwork is involved. The teamwork gives these fight scenes more depth and are a ton of fun to watch. One of my favorite scenes from the first Avengers film was a long shot that pans all around New York, but slows down to focus on some of the characters fighting and then moves on to the others. And there are a couple of those scenes in this movie, and they were all great. My one real gripe with this movie is at one point Thor goes off to do something that I won't spoil here. My problem with this part was the execution, because it felt very rushed and out of place from the rest of the film, but it's just a small portion of the movie and doesn't really affect it too much as a whole. Guys, this was an epic movie in the MCU, full of great characters and action, which is why I'm giving Avengers Age of Ultron an A. What did you guys think of Avengers Age of Ultron? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time on the Moviegoer Lobby.